Let's say you're having a lot of symptoms of repetitive strain injury, soreness, numbness, tingling, odd sensations, and you've been having them for a while. In fact, they're getting worse. So you decide you're going to take some time off, thinking that that will cure things. You'll go back to work and things will be just fine. And sure enough, you find that you're feeling better when you're on vacation or taking some time away from the computer or whatever it is you were doing that got you into trouble. And so you think, oh, good. So you go back to work, and within minutes, the symptoms came back just as strong as they were when you left. We need to understand the injury and the process of healing to understand this phenomenon. Sometimes people give themselves deadlines to heal, 2 weeks, 3 months. They're going to take that time off and they figure they'll heal within the time that they think they've given their body enough time. But RSI heals in its time, not your time. And because the tissue now has been injured and isn't as strong as the original tissue was, it's much more likely to re-injure when you go back to using your hands again. There are many reasons to explain this. Healing takes time, and soft tissue injuries are notoriously slow to heal. And then you need to think about the situation you're going back to. Is your workstation the same as it was when you left? What about pacing? Since you don't have the endurance that you had before you were injured, you can't really keep up with the pace of work that you used to do before you were injured. Does your boss understand that you can't work at your previous pace? Does your boss understand that you need regular breaks and that you shouldn't be working through pain or other symptoms? So you see, going back to the same workstation that you left and the same job with the same pacing that you left is basically a recipe for re-injury and relapse, and you don't want to do that. The other thing that can happen is that your new workstation doesn't resolve the issue of pain. You are still in pain working at this nice new workstation with all the new ergonomic equipment and the new chair that you just got. That's because the pain is in the body, and the body hasn't healed. And so any movements that got you into trouble before can trigger more pain and more injury. And you're finding that now it's not affecting just your work, but also things you do in your daily life, such as shampooing your hair or putting on jewelry or driving or chopping things in the kitchen. And this can be a problem because employers expect, they just spent thousands of dollars upgrading your workstation and they expect that to fix the problem. And when it doesn't, it can be very disappointing and also very scary. Repetitive strain injury doesn't go away by itself. Several factors all working together need to be at play. You need physical therapy to help heal the tissue. You need an appropriate exercise program. That means doing exercises that are good for you and avoiding ones that aren't good for you. You need to learn how to pace yourself so that you can avoid flare-ups. You need to maintain proper posture and learn how to use your hands and arms in a more neutral position. You also need to learn proper technique. That means holding your hands and arms in a neutral position, not bending your wrists. This is something that is not frequently taught to people, and it's the most valuable thing that you can really learn. Something that I do with every single one of my clients is look at their technique and show them the ways that they can avoid getting into trouble. But since it's not taught so frequently, and also because just the position of typing is so dangerous, I really recommend that you get into voice dictation programs if that's a possibility for you. It will really help keep you working. The best possible scenario is if your employer really understands and believes your situation and enables you to keep working at your own pace with these accommodations and doesn't pressure you to keep up with other employees who aren't injured. Unfortunately, it's not at all uncommon for people to get injured, take time off work, go into rehab, get rehabilitated, come back to work, get re-injured, go back off into disability. And that cycle usually happens a couple of times before they realize they just can't keep up with the pace of work that's something they used to be able to do. So then you have an option. You really need to be clear with your employer about what you can and cannot do. And some people can do this successfully. And it's wonderful to keep working. Other people find that they just keep getting re-injured, even if they go into the job interview and are perfectly honest with their new employer and saying, look, I have this injury. There are limits to what I can do. And the employer might agree to that. But in practice, they really expect you to sort of keep up. And if you can't, then there goes the job. So in that case, not everybody can do this, but I highly recommend use your creativity, use everything you know, and create your own career, because then you can work at your own pace. You can buy the equipment that's really going to be helpful for you and that works for you. And that way you can keep working. And most of the people I know, that's the most common question I get on my website is, what job can I do now that I can't use my hands anymore? People really want to work. So I encourage you to find the way. And if you find a way and you've got some wonderful career that you created for yourself, let us know about it. Drop it in the comment box below. I would love to hear what you're doing.